So do it. No, you do it.
You start.
Okay.
It's...
This guy's mat is awesome. Big old titties. Deck profile, sir.
Sentinel 947 doing karakuri. It is not psychic karakuri. That's expensive shit. Yeah, fuck Pro Winston. I thought about making psychic, but e-teleport is $20 a copy, if not more now. And sometimes when you're trying to run the deck, you end up drawing the psychic monsters and not e-teleport, and then you sit there going, well, shit. So I figured I would try to run something a little more consistent. So I'm running just straight karakuri. Well, mostly straight karakuri. I'm not going to call them by their Japanese names. This is Merchant. Karakuri Merchant. He searches when you normal summon him, because if you could special summon and search, he'd be broke. But when you normal summon him, you search any card with the word karakuri in it. Bring it straight from the deck to your hand.
Any card?
Freaking awesome. Any card.
Fuck.
The main tuner of the deck, I call her...
The whore.
Ninishi, Kamachi, whatever you want to call her. She's got some big, long Japanese name. I'm not going to use the Japanese names. I can't pronounce them. So... when you normal summon her, assuming she stays face up and does not eat an effect veiler for breakfast, you can normal summon another Karakuri.
Or compulsed.
Or she gets compulsed. Yeah, as long as she stays face up on the field. So there's some pretty stupid plays you can do with her.
I'm like scared to the deck because I'm like just start to learn.
Seizan. He is pretty awesome. A lot of players only run one or they don't run any of him. But the Watchdog is fucking awesome. When he's in attack mode, he cannot be killed. When he's in defense mode, he dies. So it's kind of awesome. And every time he's attacked, he rotates. So there are times where he'll be just sitting there face up on the field. Somebody will attack him. He'll come to attack mode. He won't die. They'll attack him again. Now his defense is too high. And they can't kill him. And every time he takes battle damage from when being in attack mode, all Karakuri gains 800 attack. So 800 attack and defense. So he's very strong and you can do some really funny combos with him. Shh. You. Karakuri, strategist. I only run one of him. Some people run a lot of him, but I'm not running machine duplication, so he's kind of not as good without machine duplication. When he's normal or special summoned, you change the battle position to one monster on the field. So rotate your opponent's monsters, rotate him, rotate, whatever. Laugh.
I like that card.
I run 3 of him. Inzectors are no longer any good, and especially without Sangan. So I run 3 of him now because he won't eat Hornet.
Nimbus.
All over the place. Karakuri Soldier, Nisamu. When he's in attack mode and attacked, he switches to defense mode. When he dies and is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon any Karakuri 4 stars or lower from your deck. So just loop him until your opponent can't attack you anymore, and then pull out the Karakuri that you want. I run 2 quick because 1700 just isn't enough anymore. He can't really fight with the Fire Fists anymore, and he certainly can't fight with the fish deck anymore, and well, Prophecy's not gonna let him sit on the board anymore. So I only run 2 of him. He's kind of nice. You can pull him out at the end of a Shogun loop and rotate your opponent's monster so it's weak and then kill it. But he's kind of a win more card. If you can actually get his effect off, chances are you're probably gonna win that entire battle sequence anyway. So I only run 2 of him. I run 1 Hypa because 2100 is awesome, especially when you can normal summon it. And his artwork is sweet. But the other reason is that when he attacks, after he attacks and you go into main phase 2, he'll rotate to defense mode. And you need that effect to trigger some of the Baridos and some of the other cards in the Karakuri deck. Some people run Solar Windjammer. I run Cyber Dragon because Solar Windjammer doesn't have 2100 attack. And if that Solar Windjammer, if for whatever reason the tuner you're trying to use with Solar Windjammer gets flipped or gets killed or whatever, Solar Windjammer comes to the level 6 in your next turn, assuming it survives, which it has piss defense and attack, so it won't survive. And because its attack is halved if you special summon it, its defense. So Cyber Dragon, you can use him as an emergency beater. There's the threat that he's going to get Monster Reborn and Chimera Tech with all of your crap, but that's a risk you're willing to take because Cyber Dragon is good.
Most people haven't been running that, I've been noticing.
Yeah, they're running Solar Windjammer, but Solar Windjammer is scary.
What's that card?
Chimera Tech.
Chimera Tech.
Yeah, it's just not enough machine decks right now. I run 3 of these. I mean, if you could run 3 Rotos, you would do it. You target 1 Karakuri on the field. It changes its battle position, and then you search for a card. Or I guess you search for a card, rotate battle position, whatever. So, it lets you get the Comanche, hit her, get a karakuri of your choice. Merchant, that's really good. Other reason to run 3 of them is it patterns well with karakuri anatomy. Karakuri anatomy puts counters. It's like a Six Samurai United, only it's when a karakuri rotates battle position. So you can pattern that with cash cachet.
And they do that a lot.
And you can put a karakuri out in attack mode and then just play that card. And maybe it eats an MST, but maybe it doesn't. And you add counters and you get free draws, and kind of helps keep some of your other back row cards from getting blown up. Because if your opponent knows what the deck does, they're gonna blow that up with MST, keep you from drawing. I mean, it's basically costless. It doesn't cost you anything to get the counters on it, so it doesn't hurt you to run it and get some free cards. Instant fusion, because sometimes your opponent doesn't have monsters, so I can't summon Cyber Dragon. And it's a sacky as hell top deck when you have a couple tuners or whatever out, and it's just sacky. It's a good card. Limited removal because Burrito, Bure, even Quick, getting up to 5,000, 3,000. That's just good attack, and sometimes you draw it in the middle of a big Shogun loop and draw fest, and you just kill a person right there because you have limited removal. Triple Iron Call, because who wouldn't run 4 Monster Reborns if you could? You have to have You have to have a machine on the field to activate it. When you do it, you target a 4-star or lower machine, pull it out of your graveyard. Its effects are negated and it would die at the end phase, but you're not going to let that machine sit there during the end phase. You're going to synchro with it. So there's no reason to not run it. And there's some really funny combos. You can activate Instant Fusion, pull out Cybersaurus, which I have in my extra deck. Hit him with Iron Call, pull out the one of the karakuri tuners, and start synchroing. So all of a sudden, just by top decking Instant Fusion, you're not dead yet. Monster Reborn, because, well, it's Monster Reborn. Pot of Avarice, because the deck spams like crazy. Pot of Avarice can be, depending on what moves you have, Pot of Avarice can be live on your first turn. Dark Hole, because again, it's Dark Hole, same with Heavy Storm.
The Trinity.
It's kind of an OTK deck. I mean, it does quite frequently. So I run 3 MSTs because, traps to the enemy, and MST is really good this format. Some people main 2 and side 1, but I run all 3. I had space for it. Forbidden Lance, I run 2 because sometimes it helps Quick get his effect off, and nothing sucks more than spamming your Burritos and your opponent just dark holes on the next turn and you lose them all, and so it kind of helps you keep some of them, and just helps the Karakuris win more battles and avoid getting sacked by traps. Book of Moon, because it patterns hilariously with Quick. It's good with all of them, and it's just a great card. Stops Exceeds, stops Synchros, troublesome monsters, stops them, eats lances. I run double Compulse, not triple. I wish I ran triple, but I run double Compulse because it's chainable, and so you can set it. And if it gets MST, you train it to your opponent's monster. It's a little bit, it's more useful if you draw it after your opponent's derped. If you draw Solemn Warning and your opponent's already derped everywhere, it's too late. It's too late to use it. And so I rode 2 of them because they're chainable and they surprise people. So moving on to the extra deck, one of the big reasons that I made the deck the way I did was to get access to these 3 guys. Beast, Barkion, and Landois. 5, 6, and 7-star Naturias. You need only Earth-type monsters and tuners in order to make them, so they're kind of restrictive. But Beast negates spell cards, Barkion negates trap cards, and Landois, by discarding spell cards, you can negate monster effects. And so these guys win games, depending on the deck. I mean, Landois shits all over agents, and, just affect happy decks, Inzectors just shits all over them. Beast is great for Prophecy and Dark World, and Barkion is great against really trap heavy decks, Madolche, and that's stupid, rogue decks that run too many traps. Then I got some staple synchros: Cataster, Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, and Scrap Dragon, just because they're problem-solving cards. They're just good for different things. I'm debating about Cataster, but he's still really good, and he's easy to make because I'm running enough 3-star tuners and 2-star monsters, so it's good enough. Good guy. But Stardust Dragon's pro in this deck. Ends games. I run triple Karakuri Shogun Bure. He's a 7-star. And this is what makes the deck work, and I guess I'll throw these guys out here too. Burrito, 8-star Karakuri. When these guys are summoned, they special summon one karakuri from your deck. Even if they're Bottomless Trap Hold, if they're Compulsed, if they're Book of Moon, regardless, as long as they don't eat Effect Veiler or get Warninged or Judgmented, these guys will give you a monster. And the problem with Synchro Summoning and why it's not as good as Exceed Summoning right now, XYZ Summoning, whatever the hell Konami wants it to be called, is that it's always in minus. And the Karakuris help you break even. And so that helps you do just stupid loops, where if you can just get Cyber Dragon or Instant Fusion out and then play Comanche, the dress, the one with the kimono, and summon a 4-star, you can just start looping a couple Shoguns in a row, and then Iron Call just helps you prolong it. But what makes them so good is Bure rotates one monster, whatever its battle position is, changes it. You know, if you want to put it, it's in attack mode, and you want to put it in defense mode, put it in defense mode, put it in attack mode, who cares? But the other thing is you can rotate your own Karakuri. So it works well with Anatomy, but it also works well with Burrito. Once per turn, when a Karakuri's position is changed, you'll draw a card for Burrito. So when you can loop a couple of these guys and get out Strategist or get out Hypa, or just hit them with Cash Cache, if you keep a couple, like keep one of those floating around in your hand, you can trigger, get extra cards. If you got Anatomy, all of a sudden you got you get 3, 4, 5 cards extra. And so nothing sucks more for your opponent when you drop a couple of these guys, you derp, you draw a whole new hand, you start setting stuff all over the place, and now you've got 3 of these guys, or 2 or 3 of these guys facing off with back row cards. And they're strong, 2,800, 2,600, these guys are strong. And so they help get you early advantage. And then I have 2 Cybersaurus because of my Instant Fusion. He's a machine, and the Karakuri Synchros, they need machine-type monster, non-tuners. The tuners can be anything, which is why you can run Psychics, but the non-tuner has to be a machine. And so I feel like the Karakuri has more synergy than running Psychics mixed in with Karakuri non-tuners all over the place. So that should be it.
Yeah, nice.
I like it.
I do too. It's really hard to beat. Yeah. Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, no, I think that's all I got.
Alright, cool. I like it.
Yep, so Karakuri, somewhat of an OTK, Sentinel 947.